Okay, you guys, let's do this. It's going to be so professional. Like, so professional. Here we go. Welcome to the Live Support Podcast with your hosts, Michele VanDusen and June Colson, a couple of clean comedians who support each other and others through comedy's wacky and winding roads. I hope you're ready. Get set. Let's go. Since podcasts have a catchy tune, we wrote this song for Michele and June. Clean comedians are best friends too. Oh, it's so good. And you never know what they'll say or do. Here we go, sing with me on Live Support, with Michele who's really short. We'll have a ball, with June who's really tall. They have fun, interviewing comedians on Live Support, with Michele who's really short. Now it's time to start Live Support.
The Live Support Podcast is brought to you by the Hot Breath Comedy Network.
Wow, give yourself a round of applause. Welcome to the award-winning Live Support Podcast. I'm your host, June Colson, here with Michele with one L, Trisha's sister, Rhonda Colson, Corey's friend.
Somebody, I know somebody. Let's just goat it out and let's go with that.
Don't call me Shelly. Don't call me Shelly, Michele VanDusen. Yes, but I'm not going to call you Shelly. I think I'm going to call you Lucy. I think that's what I'm going to call you Lucy.
Lucy.
Okay, because that has to be your favorite character on Peanuts. Because you are a pull the football away from somebody type of girl.
No, that's mean. She's mean. I am not a mean.
Well, that was you trying to get started on this episode. We're like trying to get our ducks in a row, and then Michelle's like, "Okay, and we're ready." Wait, no, never mind. Okay, now never mind. I'm like, I'm ready to kick, Charlie Brown. I'm ready to kick.
Well, so I wanted to start out this episode with a really great tip. Because, you know, as comedians, you have to do a lot of traveling, and that means a lot of hotels, hotel food, or Starbucks, or whatever. You're always traveling. You got to have coffee kind of thing. And I was going to show this really great tip on if your coffee doesn't it's not sweet enough, or, like if you want to add something. I was going to say get some rock candy and then just use that as a stirrer. Problem is, the whole time we were talking prior to recording this episode, my coffee is now cold, so it's not melting anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, sugar will still melt. Sugar will still melt in room temperature water. It just takes a little bit longer for that to happen.
That's
but
like
saying,
you
again.
You have sweet tea? No, but we got packets of sugar on the table. That is not the same. Okay, go ahead.
It is not the same, but thank you, Michele, for bringing up sugar once again. As you know, how hard I am struggling through this diet, that my husband is losing all kinds of weight, and I am not. So this episode will air about 3 weeks after we record it. We just got through Mother's Day weekend, so of course I cheated this weekend. So come on, I mean, it was Mother's Day weekend. I chilled out, I ate, and just enjoyed the weekend. And now, I'm trying to be back on track, but because I did cheat, I am still at only 4 pounds lost, and my husband is up to 13 pounds. Because
no, that's not true. When this episode airs, you're going to be 2 pounds lost because of the cheating on Mother's Day, and then
right. Yeah.
No, you'll be 6 pounds. I'm going to go with 6 pounds. 6 pounds. So you're welcome.
Well, I've heard that men lose weight like at twice the amount. So if I lose 5, he'll lose 10. If I lose 10, he loses 20. I only heard that in my own brain because that's how I justify. And I say random facts to my husband, and he doesn't question them. So as far as he knows, that is correct, and he won't give me a hard time.
That is correct. Actually, I think it's 3 times as fast. So
probably.
Mm-hmm. But
I'm hoping to change the statistic, though.
Yeah, but yours is quality weight. So that's the thing. Yours is quality weight. His might not be. So you're doing great.
This is true.
I'm
trying, man. I'm trying to lose weight.
Why?
It stinks.
Why?
It stinks.
Are you happy?
Why?
If you're happy, why
no.
are you doing this?
No, I am not happy. No. Well, I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Okay, so after we just came off of Mother's Day, and my mom was diabetic. My
Mm,
brother is diabetic.
yeah.
Diabetes runs in my family. Obesity runs in my
It's
family.
the only thing that
Uh,
runs in my family. Oh,
it's
sorry.
the only thing running. That's why they have diabetes, because nobody's running. No, that's horrible, Michelle, but that's great
Yeah, but
too.
there's a lot of
Um,
diabetic runners. I'm just gonna put that out there. So,
This is true. This is true. You
diabetics
can
can
run and
run.
be diabetic. But
Oh, yeah.
anyway, so yeah, so I'm over 40, and metabolism slows down, and all of those things. And so I'm not super unhappy with
Oh,
like, I don't get up every day and go, I don't like the way I look and I'm horrible. And like, I don't beat myself up about it. I've always enjoyed exercise. I've always been a really like, I really
sorry,
what
that right
you
there.
don't.
Oh, I've always enjoyed exercise. Really? Really, June? Did ya?
No, really, I
I
do.
No, I enjoyed exercise till I found out that there was a word that described it. So I liked being active. I had a lot of fun, running and
Yes.
riding horses and, doing a lot of, skiing, water skiing, snow skiing. I loved all that stuff. And then I found out there was a word for it. I was like, oh, it starts with X. Maybe I should leave
Mm.
it behind. So I did.
So you X'd it out of your life. Yeah. You know what though? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you said I like being active, that probably is more appropriate for what
Yeah.
I
You
love being
swim
active.
like all the
I
time.
swim. I like to go on walks with my dog on the trails in my neighborhood. My husband and I, when we, are able to travel together and find places to hike, we like to hike. I do have issues with my knees that are really bad, and so it limits some of the activity that I can do. But for the most part, I love getting out and being active. And then I'm not a huge like sugary person. I
Me
love all like,
either.
yeah, like you, Michelle, with your rock candy as you eat that in my face. I, but obviously, chemically, there is something in my body that like I got to get in check, because I've gained more weight than I want to weigh. I don't like looking at myself on stage and wondering, do people think I'm pregnant? Like, that's not a good profile picture. When you get this side profile of me. So anyway, I'm trying really hard. Michelle is a super encouraging friend. I wouldn't doubt if she doesn't send me donuts next week, because she's the sabotage friend.
Here,
And
have
then,
a banana.
go ahead. Yes.
Have
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
banana.
And then you'll go ahead and like have some sorry excuse of like, I sent you donuts because I wanted to help you with your discipline and teach you that you can have
You're
a dozen
welcome.
Krispy Kreme in your face and not eat them, June. You can.
Yeah, that's how you become an
Okay, those I
overcomer.
couldn't. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, if the Krispy Kreme isn't hot, I'm not touching it. It's got to be. It has to
Mm.
be warm. If it's a cold donut, it's like, ugh, no, thank you.
5
So,
seconds in the microwave, it warms it up. 5 seconds.
yeah. So,
5.
so here's the thing: if you do get a box of donuts, right, then you can individually put them in Ziploc and put those in the freezer. So that way,
Mhm.
once a week, you could be like, have your cheat day. You can pull out one and microwave it to
So
your
now you're encouraging me
desire.
to cheat, Michelle. Now you're encouraging me
No,
to
no,
okay,
it's
can I tell
called
you can I tell you how you can support me, Michelle? Can I tell you how you can support me?
stop talking.
Stop supporting me. Stop supporting me.
Oh,
I'm
well, you
just
know what?
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Just here's the thing, but I will always picture you as the person that just wants to lay across the countertop. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, go back to that. Michelle took that picture of me like 3 years ago. And if you see, this is a couple of houses ago, but I'm holding my awesome Uncle cup. That's one of my favorite coffee mugs that my nephew gave me when he was little. He gave me that. I was
Mhm.
like the world's greatest uncle, and I love
Yeah.
that. I love that cup. So
He's a better speller now, so he realized.
yes.
Yeah, or he was way ahead of his time. We don't know. Hmm.
Yeah, potentially. Potentially. Okay, so today, Michelle,
Yes,
we want to talk about maybe
stuff.
some unique places comedy can
Yeah,
take you. Sometimes some places we go that we're not even being the comedian or the entertainment, but we got in the door because we are comedians,
yeah,
and how comedy can help and support people in your community. I think that's one of my favorite things to do, is to be able to do something that I know that I didn't just bring laughter, but I also maybe have changed or helped a program, a community, a cause in some kind of way. So, okay, so so today we're going to focus quite a bit on Capernaum's Got Talent. This is the little program from Capernaum's Got Talent. And I may have spoke about this a couple of episodes, but we didn't really go into length about it. But it's Wilco.
Yeah.
I
was going to say, I think I showed this a few episodes back that you were thrilled to be a part of this event. So yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So, helping judge is what it says on there. So I've got the program from that night, and it's Wilco Capernaum's Got Talent. And it is such a cool program, such a really cool program. And so basically, these were teens with disabilities that put on a talent show. And I was one of the, in quotes, celebrity judges.
Ooh, I wore my crown shirt for you today.
You did.
Yes.
Because we feel fancy like princesses.
Yeah, this is a Leslie Townsend's Walk Like a Queen shirt. And I was like,
oh,
I'm in the presence of celebrity. So.
Oh, right. Oh, no. Okay. So first of all, let's start with like how comparison can be such a dangerous thing. So so our mutual friend, Christy Conder, she's been on the podcast, reached out to me, and her church has this, is part of the Young Life. And they have Young Life Capernaum, where it's ministry for teens with disabilities. And so they do this talent show every year, and Christy reached out to me and was like, hey, they do a celebrity judge panel, and basically you're not actually judging, you just give encouraging comments after the performances. It just adds to the whole like America's Got Talent vibe to it by having the panel of judges and all of those things. So they send out Kelsey, the young lady who was organizing the event, she sent out a thing where she was like, hey, if we could get a bio from you, headshot, the general stuff that people send. And one of the people replied right back and immediately sent their bio. And it was this beautiful woman. You have a picture of her. It was this beautiful woman,
Laura.
And her name is Laura. And I will say her name wrong, but she said everyone says her name wrong. It's Osnes, Laura. I know, whatever. Laura knows what her name is. Okay, Laura O. So sweet Laura O. Look how tiny and beautiful and gorgeous she is.
Adorable.
Her bio was like Tony nominated, like, like Broadway star. She starred in like 5 Hallmark movies or something, or 5,000. I don't know.
I've watched 5,000. So
you have probably seen her. Like literally after the show, there was a couple of people who come over like, oh, you're my favorite, a Hallmark star and all of that, which is really sweet. And then they were like, and who are you anyway? No, I'm just kidding. So
like, I'm a co-host.
I'm the co-host. Don't you know who I am? So yeah. So she sends hers in, and it's like Tony nominated, stars in movies. And I'm like, I'm Junebug and I'm funny. I privately sent my response. I was like, I don't need anybody reading who I am. But on the panel, there was Lauren Morris, and Lauren owns like a dance studio where it's Move Inclusive Dance. And then a guy named Johnny Diaz. I met his family. Johnny was really cool. He's a songwriter in Nashville. And Laura as well sings. She's a singer as well. And so her and her husband moved from New York and came to Nashville a year or two ago. And we ended up finding out that we had some mutual friends together. Then I got to introduce Christy to Laura, because, Christy Conder's daughter is an actress, and she's now moved to New York. And they were like comparing pictures of where Christy's daughter lives to where Laura and her husband just recently moved from, and like they knew the same neighborhoods. It was really cool to watch how quickly God when Laura started talking to me, she mentioned a friend who had just moved here. And I was like, oh, I've actually spoke to that person recently. And so then we had someone connected, and then I'm like, I want to connect you to, my friend Christy. And so it was just really neat to like, you're on this panel
randomly with some strangers you have never met before, but immediately God's like, you guys, you're connected already. Like you already have these things that connect you together. But and then there was this guy Sam Dial. Okay, so Christy is talking to Sam in this picture. Look at this jacket. Look at this glittery jacket. He was
shimmery.
Yes, he was so sweet. He was like cutting up with me and Christy, and we were talking about being, our comedy twins, all that, telling stories about that. And he was asking, yes, twinning is winning, me and Christy Gonder. But Sam was asking questions about us, myself and Christy, and all that. And so I asked him, I was like, so what do you do? How did you land on the panel? And he was just like, kind of, like I own a research company type thing. And it was just kind of, he was very dismissive of himself, like didn't share a whole lot. Not that he was being secretive. He was just like, tell me more about you and less about him. Michelle,
I wish when someone does that, like when someone does that kind of thing where they just, back off of themselves and want to, they are accomplished in a bunch of stuff. So who is this guy?
Yeah. So I wish I would have had time to like dive in deeper and find like where his bio was. But like it's like a major research company and it's like outer space stuff. And he's like been in outer space, this dude. I know. What? I was like, what? I'm like, he wants to know more about me and comedy. And he's literally been in outer space. And I'm like,
and you're like, I'm in outer space all the time. That's where my brain is. What are you talking about?
Listen,
so you have things in common.
I feel like I should have recognized another space cadet.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's called Spacey. Yeah, that's what it is. Space cadet. Is there bios in the book, in your flyer there?
It's not. It was she just had them that she read as we came up on the stage. And I only saw one other person's bio. But so the WilcoCapernaum presents, it basically raises funds for their program. And it's a very active program, and they take the kids to camp. And I got to meet a lot of people that work for the program, just kind, passionate, amazing people. So basically they, read our bio. We came up to the table. We got to ask questions of the performers when they got done. And so there were 2, 4, 6, 8 performances. Ooh. There was, these folks were singing, they were dancing. Okay. If you're looking at the screen right now, for the people who are listening with us, there are 4 performers on the stage who all have just amazing smiles. You can see the panel of judges in the background. And, so to my right on the screen, there's a gentleman who has stepped forward, and I'm telling you, he was doing like toe touches, and they nice. were rocking. They were rocking. I believe that was Cade and Matt and Caroline and Libby is who we're looking at there.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. You singing, dancing, names. Performing. So well, I'm looking at the program, but sure.
Oh,
of course, you can't see my picture. Okay. So that's the end of the show, where not everyone who's on the stage had performed that night. But a lot of them did. You'll see a guy to the right, black jacket, black shirt, black pants. His name was David. When he walked up to the mic, Chrissy and I both thought that he was going to do comedy. The way he walked up was like a guy walking up about to do comedy. And then he blew our minds by singing and dancing. And I am telling you, I wish I had like a thimble full of David's spirit and energy and joy. Oh my gosh. He was so good. Like when we complimented him, it was like, David, you're fantastic. His reply was, yes, I know. I loved it. Like, be self-aware, David, be self-aware. His performance was amazing. These guys, this is Ben and Caleb, they played guitar and they sung I Should Have Been a Cowboy. And they started with some big yeehaws. And then again, you can see to the right, the panel. So you'll see Lauren and Laura, myself, and
Sam.
and Johnny and Sam over there to the right. Sam sparkled. I told him I had full on sequins on. He had a sequins jacket. I said, we cannot sit beside each other because we will probably get stuck to each other with all of our, but I loved having an excuse to like glitter it up. Like I had a full on duster, like that was nothing but sequins, because this was a big deal. This was a big show for them. This was very exciting. Yes, there's myself and Christy. So Christy, yes, Christy gave me this opportunity, put my name in the hat for this opportunity to be there. And I will tell you, this is for me, you know, in the words of Simon Cowell, when he says, this is what America's Got Talent's all about. Like, this is for me what comedy is all about. Having an opportunity to be with your friends, to be at an event that's bigger than yourself, that you get to just participate and be a part of something that's very special and that helps somebody else, right? So so the kids, they sang, they danced. Okay, so there's a young lady in a wheelchair. I want you to show. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry, go back to that picture. So Michelle's showing another picture. This was, I think it's the USA Dance Team is what they call them. Or Team Tennessee USA Cheer. These folks, Michele VanDusen.
Yeah.
You may recognize the front two as Ben and Caleb, who were just playing their guitar. This dance team are world champions. They are
wow.
The back of their jackets were sparkled up and said USA on the back. And I'm talking long, complicated routine. I could not come close to doing what these amazing, talented people did. Like, they were so good. They were so good. And then there was a young lady. I don't think I have a picture of her up there. She was wearing from Hocus Pocus, the green dress with the red hair. She did one way or another. I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you. There was that performance, and the young lady in the wheelchair that you were just showing. She danced. And then look at those pink flags. She didn't have those at the beginning of the routine. That was like added flair. Okay. So she was dancing and twirling. And then Christy's husband, who volunteers for this program and is part of the program, he was there helping with the setup and all of those things. Midway through her dance, Jay comes out with these two beautiful pink flags, and he presents them like on one knee, like a prince giving something to a princess. Like, it was so beautiful. And like at the end, she had her arms up in worship. Like, it was absolutely like, I you know how you have some great events that you get to be a part of in comedy, and then there are some you just leave and go, wow, I got to be a part of that.
I love seeing the smiles on the judges' faces in the back there. You look like, yes, you're all in watching this. I mean, I love it. I love it. And here's a picture of,
oh, there she is. There she is. That's Natalie. Look at Natalie. Oh my gosh. She danced to One Way or Another. You know, I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you. Wow. Wow. I'm telling you.
That outfit is amazing.
Talent. Yeah. Yes. She was feeling the outfit. She was feeling the part, like the whole thing. There was a young man named Bryce who sung. Brooklyn is the one who had the pink flags. David, I already told you about him. Yeah. And then Isaac. Okay. So Isaac, I believe he was the pastor's son. And he did like break dancing, like hip hop dancing. Like, wow. Yeah, he was popping and locking, was on the floor spinning. I don't know if you have that picture or not, but
I don't.
But like, it's one dude with the in front of the balloons, and he's kind of down doing a spin. But yeah, so Isaac, just handsome, talented, phenomenal. But this is what I want to talk about is a lot of times in comedy, like, we're center stage, right? There he is. There's Isaac. Yes, check him out. Like, you can tell, look at that outfit too, that fly outfit. Like, he's got the Adidas pants on. He's got a Hawaiian shirt. He is doing his thing. Yeah. And his dad came out later and, like, you know, gave kind of testimony about, you know, when they found out that Isaac was going to be different than what they expected, and how their life kind of changed with that. And then how blessed they are with him. and how important this program is. And so, so anyway, it was a fundraiser. So I don't want to like move on without sharing that if people are interested in financially supporting the Wilco Capernaum, they can do that. And I gave you the website, but they can go to, it's Wilco, like WILCO, then the letter Y and the letter L, like Young Life, Capernaum at Gmail. So they could go there, or wilcoyounglife.org, and check it out. Check it out, what they do. And it takes a lot of money to run a program like that. It really does. There, you know, you've got full-time staff, you have volunteers, you have camps that you're taking people to, you have supplies that they need throughout the year. And so, so I got to be a part of that. It was at Brentwood Baptist Church, in their beautiful auditorium. And in that building, they have like an indoor basketball court. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, multi-purpose building. I love that.
Yeah, multi-purpose building. And so they allowed the Wilco Capernaum to use that facility for this fundraiser. State of the art, like backgrounds and big screens, and just a beautiful facility. Everybody who was a part of that just poured their heart into it. You could tell. I personally want to say thank you to everybody who allowed me to be a part of it. But there are times in comedy, like I said, that it's, you know, we're center stage. When we're on stage, it's just us and the microphone. The focus is on us. But when we can be a part of something where we're not even doing comedy, the door just opened because I was a comedian. I connection with a friend, and she knew that I would enjoy this, you know. What she didn't know at the time is that I spent 7 years working in special education. So this was even more like my heart all day long. But comedy, sometimes we're a comedian without even having the mic. And it brings us into locations and places. Now, I know that you said you've been in a position where you got to judge some people. So tell us about a door that's opened for you that wasn't necessarily you were performing, but you were there because you're a comedian and people wanted you to be a part of what they were doing. Oh, you're muted. That's my favorite. No, I'm just kidding. Unmute. Now tell us, Michele.
Because I was coughing, and so I muted myself, and then I forgot. And you're like, answered prayer. Ask that question again. No, I heard the question. So when my son was in high school, he attended Edison, and he was part of the theater program there. It was some of the classes he was taking, and the theater instructor was teaching a segment on comedy. And so they studied all different forms of comedy. They were going through all the thing, and then they were at the unit for stand-up. And she knew that I was a stand-up. Anyway, so she and I were talking, and she's like, would you come and talk to the kids? I'm like, okay, sure. So the kids performed what they were writing. And so I got to add some insight into that. And then I got to talk, they got to ask questions. So it wasn't like I was performing comedy, but you know, it was just through the natural. And then one of the kids raised her hand, well, can you do a bit for us? I'm like, oh, okay. So then I was, you know, performing for just a small thing.
Yes.
And so later on, because my son didn't know I was there because he wasn't in that class, but he takes other classes with her, right? So he wasn't in that class. And so through the halls, people that he didn't know were like, dude, your mom's so funny. He's like, thank you. You know, like he had no idea that I was in the building at the day. So that was kind of a thing. So that was kind of neat. Yeah, because I got to judge them and give them feedback, which is a little, it's nice to be able to give positive feedback to people that are upcoming, or, you know, because the main feedback is always write what you know and try to write it in a clean form, because, you know, what do they say, clean is green, you know, or you're gonna so it was really fun. And some of those kids are hilarious. And for years, I taught, you know, an after-school comedy club for kids. So now this was high schoolers. So I was a little nervous, but now they're just like every other comedian, every other person. It's the overcoming fear, being on stage, and then talking about something, hoping that you don't get in trouble. You know, like it's just, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. And
I love that the high school incorporating that in the
Yep.
curriculum. That's really cool.
Yeah. Mrs. Well, I'm not going to say her name. She's really, really good at what she does. It's one of the best theater departments, yeah, I'm going to say department in town, I think. And I've been to different schools. I've seen different productions
Yeah.
from different things. She really, really knows how to guide her kids in a manner that their shine comes through. So it's
Yeah.
really neat. And they do some amazing production. So if you ever get a chance, Edison High School, when you see a production coming, buy the tickets. I mean, they're usually $5. So
Yeah.
it's fantastic. And they write stuff and they go to state competitions, and yeah, it's really good.
And she knew she could trust. She knew she could trust you with the students. We know, like, watch documentaries on celebrities and where they got started and who planted that seed in their life. And so many people say it was my middle school, reading teacher. It was my high school drama teacher. It was the high school musical that I was in, and
Yeah.
so kids are just like adults. We can be very vulnerable about our performance and our material and all of those things. And you're knowledgeable but mature and kind and able to invest in the kids. I'm impressed that your son let you come to the high school. Like, I can tell you that if I was invited to the high school while my youngest was still in high school, he would have transferred schools. He would have just left. I could not have been in the building with him. So I love that there was a good question they asked. I just recently got to speak to 2 classes of 6th graders. And, they ask you to do a bit. The only questions I got from 6th graders was, "Oh my gosh, how tall are you?" Like, that was it. How tall are you? 6th grade boys.
The world wants to know. How tall are you, June? Go ahead, June Colson. Tell the people.
Well, it depends. So if I'm flat-footed, I'm about 5'9" and a half, 5'10". But if I got heels on, I'm close to 6 foot tall. So yeah,
it's more like
and Michelle,
7.
you? And Michelle, how tall are you?
Flat-footed, because that's the only, I don't wear heels. 5 foot. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, just 5 foot. 5 foot. That's
so
it.
did any of the high school kids? So 6th grade boys were obsessed with the fact that I was a woman who was like, and I had heels on. So I was a 6 foot tall woman who walked in, which blew their little minds. High school boys, they're now 6 foot and taller, and your 5 foot self walked in. Did anybody there want to know how short you are?
Here's the deal. I worked at elementary school for years, and I got mistook for a student by other teachers all the time. So I had kindergartners that were taller than me. So, which is crazy.
Well, you shouldn't have been running in the hall in the first place, is all I'm saying. You knew better.
I know. Well, I was on recess duty, like that was one of my things, is I was always at recess. And so they're always like, "Is there a teacher out here?" I'm like, "I'm over here." Because I was playing ball or whatever, So yeah. Anyway, no one really asked me. They just was like, "Wow, you're short. Thank you." So
well, we wrote a theme song about it, so that's how important it is. The difference between our height. So the difference between our height. This is so exciting. We're going to be side by side soon, very soon. Yes. So this show is going to air just before the CCA retreat in Fishers, Indiana. So I want to tell any comedians that are interested in coming to the Christian Comedy Association to our retreat. It's the CCA Connect Retreat. This year's theme is focus. And so there is 3 days, June 5th, 6th, and 7th. Registration starts around noon on June 5th. And there's a meal provided on Monday night. There is lunch provided on Tuesday. Dinner is on your own. And then we wrap up around lunchtime on Wednesday. Monday night and Tuesday night, there will be open mics. It'll be very short, very rapid fire for new comedians who have not been to the CCA before. If they want to get on stage, they'll be the first folks that are given the opportunity to go. Mm-hmm. Our veteran comedians are able to sign up to go on, but only after we've allowed our newcomers an opportunity, and they have to do new material. They're not allowed to come with some, brilliant, something they've been tweaking for 17 years. This has to be something new that they're trying out. So that's what our veterans are going to have to do. And some of them will cheat and we know it. And I will call them out if I know it, is all I'm saying. But it's June 5th, 7th. Go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and just do Bob Smiley's material while I'm there, because it'll be new. That's new for me. But I'm just going to do his. True. So I can do that, right?
That's just new to you. It's newsed. It's newsed material. It's used and new. So June 5th, 6th, and 7th, Christian Comedy Association. It is not too late to register for that online. ChristianComedyAssociation.org. Christian Comedy Association.org. You can actually register there as well. I will tell you, if you're just now hearing this, just now deciding to go, about the only hang up you might run into is that t-shirts had to be pre-ordered. We had to have them early in, and so there's a chance that we won't have your size on hand at the time. And that's just because it's last minute. I can't magically produce a t-shirt. We had to order those in advance. And so that would be about it. That would be about the only hang up. Other than that, you can come, you can fellowship, you can hang out, listen to Christian comedians from all over the country, where we just invest in each other, make connections. Like we talked about before, the Capernaum's Got Talent. I got connected with my comedy twin and one of my closest friends, and was able to do that event. There she is, the Christy Condor, and she and I will be together. She's actually speaking this year at the CCA. She's one of our speakers. So it's a great place to connect. That's why we call it CCA Connect. Okay, now leading up to it,
dun, dun,
we're going to talk about
dun.
three shows really quick before we close out on this. So coming up on Friday, June 2nd, it is Popcorn and Punchlines. It's going to be held at the IMMI Conference Center outside of Indianapolis. It's sponsored by Crossroads Church at Westfield. Pastor Eric there is one of the kindest people that I have ever met while doing comedy, and they truly invest in their communities. And now twice a year, they have a comedy show free to their community, which just brings people in.
Free?
And it's totally free. This event is totally free. Popcorn and Punchlines. There's 8 comedians: Brian Kahatsu, Rhonda Corey, Michele VanDusen, Leslie Robb, Dory McLemore, Mike James, and June Colson. I believe Lee Harden is not going to be able to be with us this year, but there's his handsome face. Look him up. He's a great comedian too. Okay, so that's going to be on Friday night, right? Then Saturday night, what is happening? Michelle, you and I are on another show together. I'm not sure the full on lineup, but I know that you and I will be there. We'll try to do our best to always stand side by side so people can see the contrast between 5 foot and 6 foot tall. Literally a foot taller. When people say that, they're like, "Oh, it's got to be a foot taller than me." I literally am a foot taller than you. So it's Fisher.
Really look up to you. I really look up to you, June. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know. And we never ever see eye to eye, so I don't know how. Yeah. So it's Fisher's Comedy and Magic. It's a Christian comedy extravaganza. I love that word. Okay, Michelle, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Now spell extravaganza.
No.
I couldn't do it either. I couldn't do it either.
Wait, where are we going with this? No.
Okay, so it's comedy and magic. I was going to do a magic trick while you had your eyes closed, but that's what it was. Okay, it would be a magic trick if I spelled extravaganza. All right, comedy extravaganza. It is on June 3rd. The show starts at 7. Doors open at 5 o'clock. Tickets are $25. It's at Onward Church Auditorium in Fishers, Indiana. So you have to check it out. You can find all the information at fisherscomedyandmagic.com. You guys, David Pendleton, one of the best ventriloquists you're ever going to find, and amazing comedian. This is his heart right here, this Fisher's Comedy and Magic. They've already had several shows. Just recently, our friend Chris Roop and Johnny W. was there. Coming up in August, I think the Witties are coming. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, for sure. And so, but we're going to be there. We're going to be there on June the 3rd, and it'll be a great lineup. It'll be a high quality show. You can't beat the price. Like amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So far we have Friday night, Saturday night, Saturday night. What's happening on Sunday night, June?
Man, Indiana folks, Indiana people, you guys have no idea how lucky you are to be a Hoosier right now, because 3 nights in a row, you can check out amazing comedy shows. So on the 3rd night, on Sunday night, our friend Haas Ridgway, the pastor of Turning Point Church, is also a comedian and one of the speakers at the CCA. And he and Bob Smiley are just great comedy friends. And so Haas is hosting Bob at his home church, at Turning Point Church. That's in Franklin, Indiana, on June the 4th at 7:00. So, yeah.
And this is a free concert.
It's
a free concert. If you haven't ever heard Bob do comedy, don't miss this. You will be totally blessed. If you haven't heard Haas do comedy, don't miss this. You will be blessed. They both have dry bars, which is really cool. So, you can kind of check out beforehand. But Bob, when he does a live show, I'm just going to warn you, stretch out before you show up, because your stomach will hurt from laughing so much. And if you bring some Depends. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah.
So hydrate, bring Depends, stretch out your tummy, get all those muscles ready, because you will get hurt laughing so hard.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be the only career that anyone, it's a compliment to say, like, oh, if you go see June Colson, if you go see Michele VanDusen, bring your Depends. Like, comedy has got to be the only career that you could say that and it'd be a compliment. Like, if it was your dentist, you know what I mean? Go see Dr. Simon, but bring your Depends,
If you're wearing them.
Yes.
Fear will just leak out. No,
yeah, the veterinarian, bring your Depends. Or my hairdresser, go see Sheridan to get your haircut, but bring your Depends. That's never going to be a compliment in any
when
other
you come
industry.
to church. Oh, no.
Yes, when you go, Pastor Jeff, if you're listening to him preach, you want to bring your Depends. Like,
but you know what? Actually, some church services are a little bit on the long side. So, you might want to actually start packing your Depends.
That's true. That's true. Hey, okay. So, real fast, because I want to make sure that I correct this. Speaking of churches and church shows and all that. So, several episodes ago, we talked about how I went to O'Fallon, Missouri.
Yes.
With Lee Hardin, did a show. Our recap, I talked about a young man named Micah who was just such an amazing person, and super fun, and really kind of ministered to me. And so you asked me at some point on the podcast how old Micah was. And I believe I answered 45 years old. I believe that he's 45 years old.
Sounds about right.
Just recently, I got a text message from Micah, and he said, I listened to your podcast. I am 13. Haha. and he's an AB student, because we talked about like what grades he gets. And I'm like, I'm sure he's brilliant. And anyway, so he enjoyed the podcast, and I said, okay, I stand corrected. And I totally thought you were 45 years old. He said, not yet. So, let's,
yeah, like that's good. That's good to know that he's a young kid still. But I want to know, what classes is he getting a B in? Huh, Micah?
Ooh.
What
Yeah,
classes
back off,
are you?
Michele.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Back off. Were you that mama?
tutor.
Come on.
That's
Back
what
off,
I want.
Michele. My mom's like, you got a D? Are you
Good
passing? Job. I mean, will you pass with a D? And is the school going to call me? I'm like, no, Mom, we don't even have a phone. Like, they can't call you. We couldn't even afford a telephone when I was a kid.
Yes, they called.
You know what?
You missed it. Well, I recently, I think I shared this in a couple episodes ago about my kids graduating. And I was looking at my transcripts, because, you went to college and you graduated also. And then I thought, I wonder, what are my transcripts? Do I need to go back? Do I have any credits that I could actually go back? Because I dropped a lot of classes and did not pass them. And my son, he's like, oh, you went to college? I'm like, yeah, I did.
No, he didn't even know you went.
Yeah. Well, he knew that I
hilarious.
attended Rhema Bible Training College. Like I attended that college, and, straight A's, couple B's. Okay. I got a couple B's too, Micah. Okay. Fine. B's are fine.
Yeah. Back off, Micah.
Yeah,
Michele.
But
I see you got a C.
Bible, right? B in Bible. So it matched. Anyway, yeah, but I went to another college previously for a very short time.
Yes. Well, I can't say anything to anybody about their college career, given that I had an associate's degree for 10 years and didn't know it. So I will never be able to be cocky about my associate's degree and all of that. So,
But I did get an email this morning, which kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, wait, what? So I always try to keep maintaining or I keep learning and it's very important just to continue to learn stuff. So I was taking some classes through the Light University in I don't know what state it is, but anyway, it's online kind of stuff. And they said our records indicate that you completed your certification program for anyway, that I'm now eligible for graduation and I could walk. I'm like, wait, what now? So I'm like, what? Yeah, I was taking some mental health courses and some counseling and things like that. And I'm like, wait, I don't think but I was like, wait, just to have that email pop up and like, I might be eligible. What are you talking about? Like, it just kind of threw me like, I have a June Colson story now.
Are you going to walk the line? Are you going to, like Johnny Cash, you're going to walk the line? Listen, this is what I did. My son graduated this semester after I graduated, and he had a cap and gown. And so I just put on his cap and gown and I walked through the house and went, na, 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 na. No one cared. No one in my house cared. No pictures. No. They're like, whatever, take off Ty's gown. Stop it,
yeah.
Mom. Stop it.
Pomp and circumstance is the best. Now, because I know we're going to close this out. I want to jump the gun on this for just a moment because we're talking about school. How we ended up on school was because Micah's text.
Yes.
Here we go. You ready? How do bees get to school?
Oh, Michelle, you snuck in the mom joke. I thought you were going to start a whole other topic. Oh, I don't know. Tell me.
By a school buzz.
Well, let's buzz on out of here and let's close out this episode of the Laugh Support Podcast. Folks, you can always watch this episode on the Laugh Support Podcast YouTube channel. Definitely follow us on social media. It's the Laugh Support Podcast on Instagram and on Facebook. We would love to hear from you. For sure, Michelle. And I apologize again for Michelle's mom jokes that have creeped their way into closing out every episode in season 3, you guys. So that's going to be it. As I always say, Jesus and Junebug loves you. Michelle, can you behave and tell them goodbye?
Nope. What did the dog say when he said on sandpaper? Rough. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.